Hey y'all, welcome to the channel. Hey, why are there no bears in Britain?
There are 8 species of bear that live across the globe. However, Britain doesn't have any wild bears roaming its countryside. But that wasn't always the case. In fact, around 7,000 years ago, there were thought to be more than 13,000 brown bears in Britain. They fed on large mammals like deer, elk, and bison, as well as consuming berries and roots when prey was scarce.
There were bison in Britain? Really? No. No. Bison are American. The European bison is not native to Britain, but its close relative, the globally extinct forest bison, Bison schutensacki, was here. There were bison in Britain. What? Okay.
They fed on large mammals like deer, elk, and bison, as well as consuming berries and roots when prey was scarce. But as little as 1,000 years ago, all of the bears disappeared from the British Isles. So, what happened to Britain's bears? Where did they—
I didn't know Britain ever had bears. I didn't know Britain ever had bison. I'm gonna predict that what happened to the bears, they were all killed and eaten, I would imagine. Like, that seems logical. People gotta eat. A lot of people there. Also, bears kill livestock, so that would be a reason to kill the bears. So what happened to Britain's bears? Brits happened to Britain's bears.
So, what happened to Britain's bears? Where did they go? And will they ever come back? Britain used to be attached to mainland Europe via a land bridge.
What?
This meant that animals could traverse to and from Britain with ease. Whatever species were in mainland Europe, like the European brown bear, were also found within Britain. Today, there are around 18,000 brown bears across 22 different countries within Europe, excluding Russia.
Whoa. Doggerland. Dogger Bank. I've heard of that. Oh, it was all land up until the Norwegian Trench. That's all still there, I think. Amazing. This one shows it a little differently. Oh. This world we live in, y'all.
Today, there are around 18,000 brown bears across 22 different countries within Europe, excluding Russia. The largest population is in the Carpathian Mountains of Romania. Inside Russia, there are thought to be over 100,000 brown bears, about 36,000 of which are in European Russia. But as the last ice age came to an end, the ice melted and the sea levels rose. The land bridge that was connecting continental Europe to Britain was soon buried beneath the sea, around 8,500 years ago. And those animals that were inhabiting Britain were now trapped on the island. They needed to adapt to the changes that were happening across Britain. Otherwise, they faced extinction. After the last ice age, the landscape and habitats changed throughout Britain, in part due to a changing and warmer climate, and in part due to human settlements. Forests came and went. Vast grasslands contracted in size and gave way to woodland. Native animals came under pressure. Those who had been well adapted to the cold of the Ice Age now struggled in Britain. This led to the population of bears dwindling.
Wow, it got too hot.
One of the large mammals that the bears fed on was the Pleistocene woodland bison, Bison schutensacki. These bison began to die out. They lost their open grassland habitats to encroaching woodland and were hunted by humans. This species of bison also existed in mainland Europe. From fossil evidence and mass excavations by scientists, it has been concluded that this species of bison was the most heavily targeted animal by human hunters. They were used for their meat, bones, horns, and hide. They became extinct from Britain 6,000 years ago, and with them gone, the bears lost a valuable source of prey. But there were still deer that bears could hunt, and these provided food for other British species that have also gone extinct, such as the Eurasian lynx, thought to have been in Britain until the 17th century, and the wolf, which survived in Britain until 1760, with nowhere to escape.
There aren't any more wolves in Britain? Is that true? Wolves were once present in Great Britain. Early writing from Roman and later Sexton chronicles indicates wolves appear to be extraordinarily numerous on the island. Unlike other British animals, wolves were unaffected by island dwarfism. What is that exactly? Insular dwarfism, a form of phyletic dwarfism, is the process and condition of large animals evolving or having a reduced body size when their population's range is limited to a small environment, like a goldfish. The species was progressively exterminated from Britain through a combination of deforestation and active hunting through bounty systems. The last wolf is thought to have been hunted in 1680. Yo, just a couple weeks ago, I was walking down a street in LA and there was a coyote walking down the middle of the street. I was on the sidewalk. A coyote, totally unafraid of any human or car, just walking down the street. Coyote. There are no wolves in Britain anymore.
The remaining animals had to avoid human persecution to survive.
Like
Just
the
like in
Pilgrims,
other
y'all.
parts of the world, many large mammals died out in Britain after the last ice age. But those that did survive beyond that, like the brown bear, the bison, wolf, Eurasian lynx, and even Britain's moose.
There were mooses in England? Mooses? Meese? There sure were mooses in England. Meeses. Whatever.
The expansion of human settlements, where woodlands were destroyed to make way for houses and farmland, restricted the wild animals' habitats. It is hard for scientists to determine exactly when the bears became extinct in Britain. Specimens of them remain relatively rare. Some have been found in caves, fens, and bogs, but they are patchy and many have not been dated yet. The specimens provide evidence of their existence from the very south of England to the north of Scotland, spanning the length of Britain. They were present from the Stone Age to post-medieval times, but with their woodlands chopped down for timber and the species feeling the pressure of being hunted, they started to become rare shortly after. As Britain entered Roman times, from AD 43 to AD 410, there is evidence of a greater number of bears in the region. However, this unusual spike in specimens from that era isn't thought to have been from a sudden boom in the population of bears, which would indicate that they were recovering from an all-time low.
Caesar's pets.
Instead, it is believed that it is from the large numbers of bears that were being imported from mainland Europe by the Romans.
I was joking, but Romans were bringing bears? For what? Entertainment? Look at that bear. Yo, that's a rich bear. He's got a medallion. He looks like he's the captain of a ship. That's a rich bear. A smart bear. An entrepreneurial bear.
They brought over the bears to be used in entertainment, such as bear dancing and bear baiting. For
Bear
this reason,
dancing?
it is difficult to say whether
I'm sorry, bear dancing and bear what?
there's bear dancing and bear baiting.
Bear baiting? What is bear baiting? That sounds gross. Bear baiting. Bear baiting is a blood sport in which a chained bear and one or more dogs are forced to fight one another. Oh my god. It may also involve pitting a bear against another animal. Until the 19th century, it was commonly performed in Great Britain, Sweden, India, Pakistan, and Mexico. For entertainment. I was joking, but yeah, it's for entertainment. They were pets. Not really pets. More like gladiator slaves.
It is difficult to say whether the bear specimens that scientists have uncovered in Britain are descendants of these imported bears, or are from the original British bears that once thrived in the wild.
Yeah, hard
When
to
the
know.
last wild bear died is not yet clear, but scientists are working hard to try to pinpoint a time frame. Although the wild bears of Britain became extinct, they were still imported into the country beyond Roman times. Bears were present in the Tower of London and continued to be imported
Really?
into Britain until well into the 20th century.
Oh, for
Just
zoos
like they
and
had been
stuff?
for the Romans, dancing bears were a common form of entertainment for the paying
What?
public.
Hang on.
They have been
These bears look like they're dancing like people. And there's people around them. Is this what it was like? I'm not going to watch bear dancing. What's keeping those bears from attacking somebody? Well, that bear's not dancing. He's like rubbing on a tree. This looks ridiculous.
dancing bears were a common form of entertainment for the paying public. They have been symbolic throughout Britain for hundreds of years, appearing in coats of arms, being worshipped in Celtic mythology, and appearing widely as teddy bears for children. They were also widely used for their body parts, with bear grease still being sold in Britain in the early 20th century as a reputed treatment for hair loss.
Now, you may have more hair, but you smell like a bear carcass.
Wilderness. Could they survive there now, or has the landscape changed too much? As with many locally extinct species, there is always the question of reintroducing the animals that were once native to a country.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Rewilding is popular in Britain at the moment.
I don't think that's a good
It is an
idea. y'all.
attempt to reverse a damaged landscape and revert
No.
Britain's lost wilderness using more traditional methods. Some projects have involved bringing back some ancient wildlife to achieve this. A small population of European bison has been introduced to a small area in Britain to be used in natural woodland management.
I mean, they're kind of harmless.
They debark the weaker trees, which naturally fall and decompose on the forest floor. It is a more natural way to fall trees than using machinery. And the presence of the bison has a positive effect in other ways, such as providing natural fertilizer from their dung. If they do well there, then they could be introduced to other areas too. And maybe one day they will become a common sight across Britain's rural landscape once more.
They might overtake
But reintroducing a potential predator like the brown bear into a place where there aren't any dangerous predators is a whole other situation. According to a survey, a quarter of Britons wanted to see brown bears reintroduced to British woodlands. However, unlike people who live in other parts of Europe or North America, Britons aren't used to sharing their countryside with bears. The British would need to understand the safety precautions needed when out hiking in the woods, as they haven't lived alongside bears for 6,000 years.
Y'all, watch The Revenant. There's a bear attack. This will make you not want bears in your forests. Bears will kill you. Bears will eat you. It's not a nursery rhyme. It's not a fairy tale. They will eat your grandparents. You will look into your grandmother's eyes as a bear crushes her skull in his mouth. If you let bears back into Britain, don't do it. Any pets you have, your dogs, your cats, you will be looking into their eyes, and they will be looking into your eyes as if to say, "What have you done? Help me. What are you doing to me?" As a bear crushes its skull in its mouth. You don't want those damn bears. You don't want those damn bears. Say no to bears.
People would need to be educated about the protocols when coming face to face with a deadly animal on a gentle Sunday afternoon stroll. Those who live in bear habitats would have to take certain precautions, such as storing their food and trash secure.
Right. Yeah. You're not even safe in your own backyard. If a bear's approaching your house, you go inside and you stay there. And you're really not even totally safe in your own house because they could knock down the door. If you have one of those Tudor-style homes, it's just going to gnaw through the wall. That's just plaster. That's nothing. It's like a rawhide bone to a dog. It's going to gnaw through there, and it's going to get you.
Introducing bears would require a whole different mindset for Britons. It would also bring into question the use of guns, with people needing to defend themselves.
You got to have a
bear
gun.
Country.
I didn't think of that.
No
Yeah. Are you going to stab the bear with a fork? What do you got? A steak knife? A katana? A sword? A spear? You're going to fight a bear like a caveman? You're not a caveman. You're a weak, noodly armed, fish and chip eating virus on this planet. Nature is cruel. You will lose that fight. Don't want bears, y'all. Next thing you know, they're taking your jobs. If they can dance, they're taking the dancers' jobs. They're taking all the construction jobs. There's got to be a lot of fishing jobs in the UK. Bears are taking them. The bears do have the issue of eating the fish. But if they can be trained to moonwalk, they can be trained to fish properly. You worried about immigrants? It's the bears.
Although it would be exciting to see brown bears in Britain once more, it is probably not a sensible rewilding project for this modern era.
Good.
However, there is a chance to see European brown bears in Britain, and not necessarily inside a zoo either. The UK's largest brown bear exhibit, called Bear Wood, has just 4 brown bears roaming a 7.5-acre woodland alongside wolves and
you don't
lynxes.
need any more.
It is safely fenced off from the public, but allows people to step back in time to observe the woodland wildlife of medieval Britain.
You don't need bears. Don't do it. Bears deserve this planet as much as you or I, but people and bears don't mix. Doesn't work. We cannot cohabitate. They're too dumb. Maybe we are too dumb. We're both too dumb to not kill each other. The best thing we have to offer each other is food. How far along are the efforts to recolonize the bear population? Black bears. Now, black bears are a little different. Black bears are kind of goofy, but they could still kill you.
When it comes to reintroducing predators to the British landscape, the bear is generally at the bottom of the pile. And that pile is the big 3. You know, you've got the bear, the wolf and the lynx, who we are slowly but surely coming around to the idea of having back in the British landscapes. But doesn't a bear just seem like a step too far? You know, bears are big. They have long claws, they have powerful jaws. Didn't one nearly get Leo?
Exactly, that's what I'm talking about. See y'all.
In in this video, we're going to...
You don't know how big they are. Okay, well, I'm not going to watch this whole video. Let's see what he has to say in conclusion.
I think it would be really interesting to do something like this. Kind of reminiscent of Ostrava's and, you know, that rewilding project in Holland, although I don't necessarily think they had predator-prey relationships going on in there, like with like bears and stuff going on. But you know, what do you think? Is the black bear a better candidate for reintroduction to the UK? Would you accept that this time tomorrow that the black bear was reintroduced to the UK? Or
No.
is the idea of a bear in a UK landscape just way too crazy? It's too...
Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm telling you, the last thing you want is a bear infestation. You're not gonna win. You don't have guns. You don't have guns. You're not gonna kill a bear with a knife, or a pokey spear, or a katana, or a bow and arrow, or a crossbow. I know you think your compound crossbow might kill a bear. It's not. It's not going to stop it in time before it gets to your grandma's face. It's not going to stop it in time before it gets to your cat or your dog. Is that worth the risk? No. No. This is an issue I didn't know was going on, and now I'm aware. Spread bear awareness. Well, thank y'all for watching this with me, and I'll see you next time. Later.